All right, hey everybody. So one of the things I wanted to take a second to talk about today is the idea that we all suffer from lack of flexibility, right? TK talks a lot about that, but especially in squat movements, right? The hip hinge movements like we've discussed, one of the limitations can end up being the fact that your ankles are just too stiff for you to really complete the movement while maintaining the right kind of posture that you need, making sure that your torso is upright, your center of gravity doesn't shift too far forward or backward. We always want to try to keep it over the middle of our foot. So to kind of give an example, if we have too much stiffness or lack of flexibility in the ankles, when we try to squat down, it's not uncommon that you'll actually feel your heels start to pull off the ground, right? And the problem with that is that we will find ways to compensate, whether it's using our hips or our back, that might just compromise our low back health, give us a leverage point that works, but maybe isn't optimal, right? So easy way to fix it, if you've come by the office and we've chatted about this, maybe we've talked about putting weight plates under your feet, but you can see when I'm at my house, if I'm doing something in the garage, I just have a little bit of a baluster that came off of a deck I didn't build, right? But essentially what we can do is mark it evenly if you need to, right? So I have marks so I know where I'm shooting. I use it as a part of a warm-up process, but what this does is elevating your heel can help compensate for the stiff ankles. And in doing that, it's a lot more comfortable for us to sit here and, if we need to, stretch at the bottom of the movement, and also get that type of volume that we need in those weak areas. So that the heights can actually be a little bit different depending. What I like to do is start narrow, start comfortable, right? And you don't have to do it all at once, but once we get down to where we're comfortable, there's nothing wrong with shifting and moving as long as we're being safe. We're not compromising our joints or our lower back, and just stand up. But as you complete more reps, it doesn't hurt to start playing around with the foot width that you have, the stance. If that was more narrow than what you use for squats, work your way up towards your squat stance, right? A little bit more each time. And then as long as you're being safe, it might be okay to occasionally go a little bit wider. You won't be able to go down as far, but essentially we're just putting our hips and our joints through those different ranges of motion that if our ankles are too tight, we're eventually not going to be able to do it. Or if we do it, it won't be the way it needs to work, right? So at the end of the day, work your way back towards no elevation with the heels, or if it's really just a part of your mechanics, you can always find shoes like Olympic lifting shoes, other brands that have soles that are specifically made for this to help elevate your heel and kind of overcome lack of flexibility. And that's how we can help get more range of motion and keep your hips and your back healthy.